Good evening to everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
Let's try it again. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I like the Baptist every Sunday morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to Reaching the Summit, our community service initiative here this evening at beautiful Southern West Virginia Community and Technical College. And it's appropriate that we have it on this summit here. A summit on the summit. Summit on the summit. And I'd like to welcome everyone that's here, but we are excited as we continue working toward reaching this summit, as we all gather together from time to time and meet to make sure that we're organized when this great event takes place in July of 2013. And I would like to thank all of those who are here to this evening from the CCC. Thank you for coming. I thank you for the effort that you have shown so far. And I really and truly believe that this event, this community service initiative is going to be an outstanding event here in Wyoming County. We look forward to it. We're working hard to be organized, to be ready. And we know that it's going to take place and go off without a hitch. It's going to take a lot of work for a lot of people, but we have a lot of people in Wyoming County that are eagerly waiting to become a part of this project, and we're looking forward to it. And tonight is just one of those steps that we must take in order to be prepared for this event. So I'd like to welcome all of you here, and there will be others who will come that will introduce everyone. But I'd like to welcome everyone here this evening to this event. And now I would like to turn it over to Dave. Dave, I'm going to make a country attempt at Kopsa.
Right on. You got
Okay, all right. Dave is the Assistant Manager of Programs for the Boy Scouts of America, and he's going to give us an overview of the Boy Scouts' role and their part in this summit that's coming up. Dave, we'd like to welcome you to Wyoming County. Here you go, buddy. You take over. You got it.
So the Summit Bechtel Family National Scout Reserve, that's the full name. I gotta say it once, so there it is. From now on, it'll be the Summit this evening. There's moves. This whole process started back in 2005. From 1981 through 2010, 48 P Hill military base in Virginia was the home to the National Scout Jamboree. We borrowed the property from the military every 4 years, and it was a great place to hold it. But in 2005, with the growing training needs of the military for its various missions and a lot of things, there was a brief window before the 2005 Jamboree when we thought we might not be able to use it. And we got worried, oh my God, where are we going to have a Jamboree? But they had it there, everything worked out. But that made us realize that borrowing land, having a temporary site, could potentially be very risky for the size of this event. So it was that led to the beginning of a search for a national site. The other part of that search was when we got the idea that, well, we've got to have some money for it. Stephen Bechtel, the Stephen G. Bechtel Jr. Foundation, donated $50 million for the search and the eventual purchase of the summit. When he donated, it was just to find the site so that we could have some reasonable estimation and surety that we'd be able to build something once we found the site we wanted. So proposals came in from 28 states, 80 submissions from 28 states, involved every time zone. It spanned the country. And we started zeroing in on this area in the Summit property in West Virginia. It had one really amazing, unique benefit that we felt. The Summit property is within a 10-hour drive of 66% of the U.S. population and 33% of the Canadian population. Why that's important to us as Boy Scouts, in our regulations, a 10-hour drive is the maximum that a scout troop can drive for a trip. So, 66% of the U.S. population can get here in one day. 66% roughly of Boy Scouts, troops, venturers can get to the summit within a day's drive. We think that's a real valuable advantage to this site here, among many other things. A couple of the other things that we were looking for. One was we wanted to make sure where we went to a state, we wanted to make sure we had the support of state, local government, that they were on board with us to make this happen. We also wanted 40,000 participants are coming, around 8,000 staff. There's a lot of people coming in on buses, cars, all sorts of things. So we wanted access to multiple 4-lane highway routes. The other thing we wanted, was very important to us, was access, proximity to really world-class outdoor areas, experiences, and activities. So, two of those things. The 4-lane roads, you've got 19 that comes down here. I'm sure you guys know about the roads in your own state. We also got 64 and 77 that come very close and nice to meet up. So we thought that was very excellent. And then on 3 of our sides, we are bordered by the New River Gorge National River Area, which a national park. I mean, what more could you ask for a setting for outdoor adventure with Boy Scouts? So really excellent spot. And as far as the support, the then Governor Joe Manchin said the state of West Virginia and the Boy Scouts of America go together like peas and carrots. Earl Ray Tomlin, the governor, all levels of government have been extremely supportive in making this project happen here in West Virginia. That's the senator, current senator with our volunteer national president, Rex Tillerson, who has another job, a little job as president of ExxonMobil. So these are excellent people. So this right here is a map of kind of the ultimate plan of the summit. A lot of people ask, are you going to be ready for the Jamboree in 2013? Of course we are. I don't say anything else under penalty of death, but we will be ready. But the complete total construction and development of the site is not going to be finished in 2013. It's probably a 10-year plan. So there's going to be a lot of stuff, a lot of activity happening on this site through the 4 Jamborees that we'll have on the site in the next 10 years. So we'll have everything we need, and each year, each Jamboree, we'll have a little more facilities, a little more finishing done to the site, and it's going to be excellent. This area here, right now development is being concentrated on about 1,300 acres of the 10,600 acres. The Jamboree footprint is what we're calling. That's the area that development is focused on right now to make sure we have everything ready for the scouts, that we have enough flat ground for everyone to sleep on so they don't roll out of their tents, that we have enough bathrooms for all the kids, and that we have plenty of showers for the kids not to use their entire time while they're at the Jamboree. They look like they smell, don't they? So we're going to have plenty of showers for them. Hopefully they'll use them. This is a kind of a more close-up view of the site. I'll give you a quick tour through this area. This area here is our 6 living villages where the 40,000 kids and around 8,000 staff will be living for the 10 days of the National Jamboree. There's village A, B, C, D, E, F is where the staff will be living. So that's the living area. And you have around on this side our activity-based camps. Focus of this Jamboree is to have some of the best, most intense, high adventure experiences that a kid can have anywhere. In the past, all the activities at a Jamboree had to be built and taken down. The fact that we have a permanent site here, we're going to be really developing world-class permanent program facilities. Right here is what we call Mayhem Mountain. That's where the extreme sports area is going to be. That's going to have BMX biking, skateboarding, mountain boarding, really cool stuff. It's being designed by a company called Spawn Ranch that has designed all the facilities for all the X Games that have happened. So really, that's the example with all of the consultants we're using for these action areas is the leaders in their field, so that when the kids come here, what they're getting is the very best. We have our shooting area right here is where we'll have archery. We have our shooting sports area here. A lot of different types of firearms At 48 P Hill was a military base where we use short-range firearms, which was shotguns and black powder. We'll have shotguns, we'll have rifles, we'll have 22s, we'll have pistols for the older scouts, so world-class shooting facility. This area here, Adventure Valley, this is where a lot of the really classic type, typical Boy Scout activities happen, but kind of on steroids. Don't do drugs, but this stuff will be on steroids. We have about 37 miles of mountain bike trail. We will have one of the largest rock climbing facilities. We'll be using both natural rock as well as artificial rock climbing structures. Our climbing wall is built to look just like natural rock to get the amount of kids through that we want to climb. We also have our challenge course, code course, team building type areas here. We have two of our really exciting and signature program elements. This right here is a 4,000-foot zip line for the kids. We have another one that's slightly shorter right here. So that's going to be really cool for the kids. Around here is our kind of last base camp. That's our canopy tour area. You guys know about the canopy tours, kind of like the ones that are up in Class 6 in that area. Bonsai Designs, who builds all the zip lines for Class 6 in those areas, are designing and building our canopy tours and zip lines. It's one of their largest facilities they've ever constructed. So that kind of gives you an idea. In the center here is what we call the Summit Center. This area in the Jamboree will be open to the public for 7 of the 10 days. Visitors can pay a day fee. They can come and experience what's in the Summit Center, which will include our big retail area, our scouting museum, most of our exhibits and displays from all sorts of areas, companies, educational opportunities and stuff like that. We have our arena here. Jamboree has 2 big arenas, an opening show Tuesday morning of the Jamboree, and then a closing show. Well, not the closing show, but the big show we have Sunday. And we pack about 80,000 people into this arena for those events. The day the big show, the Sunday show, those people that come and for the day visitors that day, their fee will include being able to stay for the show. So, and then right here is what we call Action Point. Action Point will have smaller preview versions of all the activities, of the types of activities that are going on in the base camp. So if someone comes for just the day, they can get a little taste of all the cool stuff that the scouts are doing. But the biggest, best stuff that we have during the Jamboree, for those 10 days of the Jamboree will be only for the kids that pay us the $1,000 plus fees. Fee for Jamboree is $850. That goes to the Jamboree. And then on top of that, you have the transportation costs for wherever their home is. So that is kind of what you're dealing with there. This is a closer view of the Summit Center area. This is an aerial view. You can kind of see this is Camp C and over into D. This is the Action Point area. One of the lakes will be right here. That is the staff camp area. The Glen Jean Armory is right around there. The Oak Hill Water Tower, my condo is right there. Just kidding. Another aerial view. This is the A and B subcamp. C and D again Action Point. This is a model campsite that we've set up. These are the shower houses that we'll be using. Big part of the Summit development is sustainable resources, being as green with our energy uses as possible. So there used to be a bunch of trees right here. We cut all those down, but all the shower houses, the 350 plus shower house buildings that were constructed for the Jamboree, this wood here is the wood, the trees that we cut down. We're having that milled and for use on the shower house. It's trying to be efficient, economical, and using as much as we can from that. The other cool change for the Jamboree is that now that we have a permanent facility, we are providing almost all the equipment that the kids will need for the Jamboree. We We are providing the tents, the cots, the picnic tables, the shelters, the cooking equipment, the cooking stoves. When a kid comes to Jamboree, all they have to do is bring a duffel bag, which we'll send them ahead of time. They fill that full of their personal clothes, their sleeping bag, and they bring a couple water bottles, their own personal mess kit, knives, forks, spoon, dish, plate, and then a day pack for when they're hiking around the Jamboree. What this has done, from 2010 to 2013, we raised our price $50, from $800 to $850. But because of all the equipment we're providing, the council costs, in the past, the council had to buy all the tents, all the cooking equipment, picnic tables. They usually had to bring, if they're bringing 3 or 4 troops, they had to bring an extra semi worth of stuff. So the council costs we're seeing come down anywhere, depending on where they are in the country, from $150 to $300. So overall, it's going to be cheaper for a scout to attend the 2013 National Jamboree than the 2010 Jamboree, which we think is really cool, starting out on a new property, just a little more economical. These are closer up views. A lot of people always ask me, jobs, what can we get, work? Well, right now the Boy Scouts directly employ around 8 people at our office in the mall, at the Crossroads Mall. And we contracted with Trinity Works, the developer, a big-time site developer out of Texas, to construct the site. Part of our contract was that they hire 80% West Virginia labor. Stone right now is our largest subcontractor. So for the next little while, the biggest opportunity for jobs are through our developers. The other 20% of labor, that's a lot of the action sport consultants that are building those activity areas that I was talking about earlier. Another great thing, we found a lot of rock, enough rock that we can make all the gravel we need on site. That's preventing around 26,000 truckloads of gravel would have had to been brought in had we not had that ability on site. So that's another efficient development practice we're using. The developers are working 2 10-hour shifts a day, from Monday through Saturday. They work at night. When they were doing the grading on the property, they had these shovels with GPS units on each end of the shovel. So they were grading at night. The satellite was telling them what angle they were at. They didn't even have to see the ground, and they were going forward, making the right grade. That's pretty high tech. Again, this is more of the equipment that we'll be providing. Jamboree, like I said, we got the best in the business building the site. They came together back last January and spent about 2 weeks in this room designing it and planning it out in conjunction with our volunteer leaders. Summit Corps 2011, you guys hear about the Summit Corps that we had last year? We had about 1,200 members of the Order of the Arrow, which is a service fraternity, service organization within the Boy Scouts of America. They came out and built around almost 13 miles on a stacked mountain biking trail in the New River Gorge Park. It's a trail that's already open to the public. It wasn't on our site. It happened all the public lands that everyone can enjoy. And that's kind of why we're here tonight. A big part of the Jamboree in 2013 is that for 5 days of the Jamboree, we'll be sending around 8,000 scouts out to southern West Virginia communities to do service projects that will have a lasting benefit on the communities they go into. Service work is a very important part of scouting. If any of you have been involved with it, you know that for every rank level, that kid has to perform a certain amount of service hours to get an Eagle to get his Eagle Award. He has to design, organize, and come up with his own service project. And at our biggest event, we felt it was time to start bringing that important component into the Jamboree event. So this is the first time we're going to be doing this at a Jamboree. We have a lot to figure out, but we know the most important thing about this process is finding the right projects. And we're not going to be able to do that without involvement from each county's community. We've kind kind of selected about 9 counties that we can logistically support projects to. We don't want the kids in the bus for 6 hours every day. We want them out doing stuff. So we think realistically that's about 9 counties, and Wyoming County here is one of those. Ultimately, the Boy Scouts of America will say yes or no on all the projects. But we're not going to say no because we think a project isn't important. If we say no to a project, it's because we can't, for some reason, logistically support it. You guys need to tell us what's important to you. That's why we need your help, input, organization to find these projects that are going to make a difference in your area. Had a lot of funding come through in the last few months. We've reached about $250 million of the $400 million needed for the first 2 phases of the project. A couple other important things about the Jamboree. 2013 will be the first time that venturing scouts can come and participate in the Jamboree as participants. Venturing is our high school age program, which is coeducational. So females will be able to sign up and come to the 2013 National Jamboree and participate just like any other Boy Scout in the past. The only way females can participate in the Jamboree was by females or venturers was by signing up for staff. So I think that's going to be very exciting. A lot happening on the site. 2013, July 15th, 2013 is the opening of the National Jamboree. 2017 will be our second Jamboree. 2019, we'll be hosting the World Jamboree here in West Virginia. The United States, Mexico, and Canada put together a proposal, and it was accepted unanimously. It'll be the first time that 3 different countries have hosted a World Jamboree. And then in 2021, we'll have our next National Jamboree. That's 4 Jamborees in the next 10 years, starting right now. So that's a lot of activity. There's a lot of opportunity for these projects. We hope to be doing service community work at the very least in all of our Jamborees. So there's, ideally, we'll have so many projects that we'll have to, we can't do them all. That won't mean that they never get done. It could be a great idea that one of your community groups and leaders take on after the Jamboree or whatnot. Or it could happen in future Jamborees. The important thing is to get these ideas submitted, get them discussed, get them talked about with the community so we can find the right things and have a great experience in 2013. The best place on the web, there's a lot of places. I have cards that have all of our web addresses on them, but summit.scouting.org is kind of the hub for all of our information. There's videos. The map I have there on the table can be downloaded from there. Lots of great information about the summit. And show a little video here.
Were you a scout?
Yes, I was.
Eagle?
I did not get my Eagle.
Oh.
But I got a pretty good job. So.
But you got the job, right?
That's right. I went out to Philmont and got too interested in high adventure.